Hello, sorry I'm late. How is everybody doing? I guess it's okay because y'all are late too. But it's okay if I don't have a lot of people here. Hopefully, you'll watch the replay. I have a hamburger that I grilled yesterday. My son's friend Ian, who was like, "Hey, Anthony, hello, how are you doing?" So my son's friend came by. They both moved here together. They were friends from grammar school. From when I put my kids in regular school in 2003. So they've been friends for 20 years. Yeah, about 2003, like 20 years. So Albert came by and I grilled some burgers and those the rest of those cheese sausages that I did a video of, and I gave him the flag cake, which was good because I didn't want to eat that. And so he took it to work and he said they love it. And he texted me, thanked me already. But I had a burger left over, so I'm having that. But my real actual I call Albert my son too. My real actual biological son is probably going to come by this evening, and I'm going to grill some chicken and shrimp and shish kebab it probably. So I started to get that stuff out, and I'm already running late. I was going to set up my other lives for the week, but I didn't do that. And but I'll get to that eventually. I did get to getting my hair cut last night, and I colored it because when I get it cut, shaved down on the sides, then it's like almost white here. So I bought my fixings. My tomatoes just fell on the floor, but they're in plastic bags, so it's okay. Lettuce. Got some onion. Let me get my tomato that fell. Some tomato. So I have some red velvet cupcakes left too, but I was like, I just finished the other ones, so he didn't want to have more because he's watching his figure too. He's watching his figure like me, but he loves he asked me to make some red velvet cupcakes to take to work. Got some onion. So yeah, I like to cook for the people that I love. So that's my thing. I'm going to pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this food. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my apartment. Thank you for my car. Thank you that I'm going to Portugal in a month. Help me to get ready. Thank you for all my YouTube followers. Please bless them. Please continue to heal Arnie's mom. I pray that we will get an update soon. And just thank you so much for blessing us, Lord. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, I'm going to pray about jobs later. I'm going to talk about jobs today. So it should be interesting. So let's see how this burger is. I'm having a trouble with the setting on my grill, I can't really turn it down because when I turn it down, it'll go off. It's a cheap grill. And I don't know, someday I might get a better one. But I was like, I'm sorry, they weren't like too done, but they were a little. This is done good actually. It's not. It's a tiny bit. Well, maybe not. I heated up the microwave with the bun. And I already did a video of my breakfast because I'm getting up earlier, you guys. I can't wait until this time to eat. Hi! Is it Courtney? Courtney, is that right? Hi, White Family Farm. I hope I remembered your name right. Thank you for being here. I did and I was gonna download it. Let me see if I can download it right now because I was gonna download it unedited. It's kind of long though, and I'm hoping I didn't do it. I'm like, shoot, did I do it too long again? So if I do it too long, it won't download. And I had to delete stuff. I got Where's Tiffany on here. I'm trying to get it to go the other way. It went to Where's Tiffany's video and I can't get out of it. So maybe I'm not supposed to download it right now. There we go. I was like, what? Let me see if I can download this video. Yeah, I did 7 minutes about my breakfast. It's my breakfast, and I was remembering my Grandma Hewitt. Who was from Edinburgh, Scotland. Oh, you had the flu. I'm sorry. My friend Lori had the flu. I remembered your name. Yay. Oh, goodness. So, and your kids are younger, right? How old are your kiddos? Let me see if this one will download. So yeah, my Grandma Hewitt was from Edinburgh, Scotland, and she had red hair. But my dad was adopted, so we weren't really blood related to her. But it was kind of cool that she had red hair and then had red-haired grandbabies. So it was cool. For a week, that is bad. Ugh. Let me do some tags on this. What should I do? So I was talking about this. I have an antique from my grandmother, and guess what? I only realized this from watching The Crown. This is like bad. I mean, I'm not English. I'm not from. I'll see if Dave shows up today. Look what I have, David. I'll say, go back, David. Look what I have, David's Cafe. It has I was watching The Crown and I'm going, hey, wait, I have this plate. Who's on that plate? Is it Queen Elizabeth's dad? And I'm like, oh, I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, it's the bad king. No. And I had a sugar. I had a sugar dish that I gave to Goodwill. Someone got a treasure. Someone in the St. Louis area got a treasure at the Goodwill because yeah, I think I gave it to, unless I have it somewhere. I can't imagine that I do. That I think I've looked through everything because I don't have that much stuff anymore. So yeah, I'm downloading this video right now. Hopefully this will work. And I like to say I'm Scottish, but I'm not actually. I'm not any Scottish. I'm like 5% Irish. I did an ancestry thing. I'm not any Scottish. I'm not any English. I'm Irish. I'm 5% Irish. What else should I put? Breakfast. So I was having an English muffin, and I think that was from my mom. Always got English muffins because I think that's what my, grandma and my dad used to have. Hey Najuma, hey John Shocker, hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Reds. Flames, y'all are flames. So let me see if this will work. Hopefully it's not too long. I don't think it's too long. I couldn't put, if I did a video there, I'm uploading a video right now while we speak. I'm having a hamburger that I grilled yesterday for my son's friend. He came by and got the flag cake and saved me from my flag cake. My blood sugar's been a little bit high since I got back from Philly. I've been eating too much sugar, so I need to cut it back again. Yeah, this is good. These burgers are the same as the other ones I had recently on here. They're from King Soopers, but they're Kroger brand private selection. I love a good burger. It's the last day of May. Can you believe it, you guys? It's the last day of May. So I have 1 month to get my stuff together and get ready to go to Portugal. I'm nervous, you guys. Pray for me. I've never been that far away from America. I've only been to Mexico and Canada. I haven't been to Hawaii yet, but hopefully someday soon. So I'm nervous. Anybody that's been to Portugal, to Europe, you got tips, let me know. I'm gonna wait, let me do something. I'll run my email on the bottom. If you want to email me, there it is. What I don't like is when I run out of burger. Sometimes my In-N-Out burgers do this. I love In-N-Out, but sometimes you run out of burger before you run out of bun and lettuce and tomato and onion. And that's what's happening to me right now. And I'm so sad. I don't really want the rest of the, I don't know. These are the last of my ballpark buns, though. Everything buns. Ballpark, everything buns. Really good if you're looking for hamburger buns. I don't know if they have them for hot dogs. They might, but Ballpark is the hot dog, so I would think they would. Not too bad. It's kind of like really salad. my bun and lettuce and tomato without the hamburger. I am done. I feel like I'm not going to be, I don't know what time my son is coming by. And then something came up last time I did the live. I was cooking early. I decided to not try to do that because I have things to do. I'm busy. I'm busy working. You guys, I'm working. Working on my YouTube and working, cooking, just living, cleaning my apartment, doing my laundry. I've always been a hard worker. And before I got married, I worked retail. I worked with my husband. I worked with my husband a little while at a flower shop. I worked in a doctor's office. But I got married at 19, and then we got pregnant sooner than we had. None of our pregnancies were really planned. None of them were really. All 5 were not exactly planned. I guess you would say, who was planned the most really is my oldest son, who's number 2 of the 5. Because after we had our oldest not, being prepared and all that, when after we had my oldest, my husband was in college and finishing up a degree as an electrical engineer, but he wasn't finished yet. So everything just got him. We were so young. He was so I was 19 when we married, and try to figure out how old he was. He was 3 years older than me. Let me figure out exactly, because I say it wrong sometimes. He was 23. I was 19. He was 23. That's what I thought it was, but I wanted to double check. I was 19. He was 23. He was not done with college. We were both. I was working a bunch of jobs, and we started going out, and my senior year of high school in 1983. Hey, Terry. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Let me do this. I got I'm almost done with my candle this one is from, and I just started it since I moved in this apartment. I don't think I burned it at all, but I got it in the fall when I was in Pigeon Forge with Joy Bless Life and Donnie Wheeler. And I got this one, and it's grapefruit tangerine. And it's hot. Duh. So I got that candle. I don't know what I did with my lighter, but I was going to light the little candle for you flames. But I don't know where I put where did I put my lighter? Where did I put it? I see it. So yeah, decided to call my followers the Flames. This was my top video for a while, just lighting the candle and saying my followers are the Flames. But it's always a little short video. I do need people to watch. If you're interested, watch my longer videos, because the shorts don't count. And well, if they did, they're not long enough. But yeah, that was my top video. And now my top video is the Slinky that I did in Philly and the Philly cheese steak. So I still did a little bit of work while I was visiting my daughter, but not a lot. And the video was doing good of me and the Lyft ride when we were late to Wicked. I just did it. I didn't want to bother my daughter because we were both kind of stressed, really, actually. And I'm trying to act like not stressed. I'm like, we're on the way to Wicked. We were late. It was, but it was still fun. But yeah, we were late. It was really fun though. It was fun. I mean, I hope my daughter had fun. I don't know. She's really quiet. So it was hard trying to get her to talk to mom, daughter. It's always been a challenge. And it still is. But we will keep trying. So, yeah. It was a good trip. But traveling is stressful, Traveling is stressful. I mean, it's a good stress. Like they say, things that are stressful, like, getting married and having a baby and all that, good things are stressful too. So it was good, but it is, traveling is stressful. And it ended up, we probably should have just drove in, but I didn't relish the idea of driving into New York City or finding parking. So, and me, I think my daughter does too sometimes, but it's kind of a notorious thing. Well, for our whole family, really. I mean, my ex would admit it, not me. I don't get lost. And, men don't want to ask for directions. That happened to us when we were at my daughter's boot camp graduation from the Army. We were at Fort Sill and we were late. It was, I was so annoyed, and he doesn't want to, men don't want to ask for directions. So yeah, notoriously, our family's kind of our motto is better late than never. I was late to the live, but hey, to be fair, there was nobody here. I don't know. Anthony may have been waiting in the wings for me to start, but there was nobody here. But I was late. So our family's kind of notoriously late. We always say better late than never. And we get lost sometimes. Yeah, that happens. Um, uh, in 1995, I have so many great stories. I have so many great stories. Where to start? Where to start? I was talking about jobs though, but let me tell you this story real quick. I got lost on the way to my sister's apartment in LA in 1995 when we had 3 kids. Yeah. Yeah, it was 1995. I let my husband, because I'm such a nice wife, I was a good wife, I was a good mom. Not perfect, of course, not perfect, but I was a good wife, I was a good mom. I let my husband, and it was my idea really. I let my husband fly to Taiwan with his mom because his mom would sometimes go back to Taiwan because she's from Taiwan and stay a month. And I was like, why don't you take, you know, uh, my ex hadn't been back since he was 4 years old when he came over here to America. So in 1995, I said, why don't you go to Taiwan with your mom? And while you're there, I'll just visit my family. And, he didn't stay a month. He stayed a couple of weeks. But while you're there, I'll just visit my family in California. So I'm by myself in Los Angeles. I left my mom and dad's on the Central Coast. I didn't plan on telling this story, but this is a good story. This is a good story. So I left my mom's, and as I'm leaving my mom knew because she'd been to my sister's apartment. She's like, listen to me. Like, you have to do this, you have to go this. And I'm just like, oh yeah, mom, whatever. You know what? I'll find it, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't even, we didn't even have GPS back then. It would have made sense for me to be blowing my mom off if I I'll just do with a GPS. I'll just, well, I think we might have had no, I don't think we did because this was 95. But I was just like, I'll find it. But she was trying to explain to me something that was confusing, right? So I'm not listening. I'm with my there's a funny story about leaving San Francisco too. My grandmother was still living. It was the last time I saw my grandmother because she died was it that year? Was it 94 or 95? I think it was 95, yeah. And get this, you guys, from all the way across the country in Georgia, me, the youngest daughter, and all my other siblings lived in California, I think, except for my brother Christopher lived in Texas still. So I have my oldest brother, my next to the oldest brother, my youngest brother, who's older than me, but he's my youngest brother, my sister, all of them. Wait, my brother Paul might have been in Arizona. Yeah, he was in Arizona. My brother Paul was in Arizona. So there's 4 of them in California, in the state of California. And us from Georgia are the first ones to visit my parents' house in California when they moved to California. I'm like, go me. Go me. I'm a good daughter. Pat myself on the back. They all lived in our state. They lived in the same state. And I'm the first one from Georgia to come see them. So yeah. So there's that. I'm hoping I have all my time frames right. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, and that was the last time I saw my grandmother. So yeah, so I come from my grandmother's and we dropped my husband off at the San Francisco airport. His mom flew from Florida to meet him there, and then they caught a plane to Taiwan. Wow. So this, you know what? This goes with my job, y'all, because that was my job. He didn't let me, after we got married and had Sarah, I had thought of getting a job because like we need the money, and he didn't have he finally he finished college at FAU, the same college my mom graduated from, and my brother and my ex's brother. So he graduated from FAU after we found out I was pregnant. I think it was 86. The same year we got married. Same year we got married. We had everything. Boom, 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 boom. Graduate college, get married, have a baby. The have a baby part was not planned. But anyways, we had the baby in 87. So part of the time I was a teenager, I was pregnant. That blew my mind. Hey, Alex. Hello. Hello. I've been good. How are you? I'm yelling like, you're far away. You're far away, right? So yeah, I'm in the middle of telling this story that I didn't plan on telling, but it kind of goes with because this was my job. This is my job, you guys. This was my job. So I'm at I got lost at the San Francisco airport. My oldest child and my grandmother, who was 80, gosh, she was 89 when my and that was the year she died, I'm pretty sure. Wait, I'm putting in a 2. I need to put in 1995, I believe it was. And my grandmother was born in 1906. She was 89 years old. 89 years old. She insisted, she was a feisty lady. She insisted on going to the airport with us because she had already met my mother-in-law though, actually, because she came to our wedding in 1986. So she had actually already met her. So, but my grandmother wanted to take my ex to the airport, and I had the 3 little ones, and I dropped him. I'm like, right off the bat, I'm going, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? So drop him off at the airport. We meet his mom. He's off to Taiwan with his mom. And I'm here at the airport with 3 little ones and an 89-year-old, my grandma, their great grandma. And we're at the San Francisco airport. And I'm like, okay, I think we had got her a wheelchair. I think so. And then we take her she was still bowling too. And so I'm like, okay, I have to go get the van. So we had a little gold Dodge Caravan van. And I'm like, I think that's what we went out there. I think that was our first road trip out there. I'm not sure though. I think it was. We went when we had 3, we went when we had 4, we went when we had 5. So, all right, bye, Alex. So, yeah. So what happens is I ended up going around on the wrong level. I left my grandmother and my oldest daughter on a bench, and then I was going on the wrong level. And like after the 3rd time, I was like in tears, and I got someone to help me get directions. And I was like, I'm looking, I left, and it was like they looked exactly the same. And I was like, I left them on that bench. Where'd they go? They disappeared. And so the security person or whatever explained to me that there's 2 levels and you need to go this way and go on the other level. And so I finally found them. But the story I started to tell, Red's chasing rabbits again, was when I got to LA. And then I got to LA, I went down to my parents. They were in Aurora Grande. So not all the way down to LA, but I was at my parents in Aurora Grande. We saw their house. We had already been there, I think, though. This was a long time ago. This was 95. Yeah, we were the first ones to be there. We had already been there. Yeah, we had already been there. I was driving back now by myself with my 3 kids, and spent some time by my parents, and then I was going to my sister's, and my mom was trying to tell me the way to go because something was complicated, and she thought I was going to get lost like they did, I guess, or something. And I wasn't listening to her. And sure enough, I get lost, I'm going the wrong way. I'm in LA with my 3 little kids, and I go to turn around because I went the wrong way. I hit a curb and I get a flat tire in LA. Oh my goodness. So Ian was like 2. Ian was like 2 years old then, my son that's here in Denver. So here I am with the 2 kids. So I'm trying to figure out. I have a picture I should show you. I'll post a picture. I'll post a picture of it later because I have a picture of my 3 kids with my grandmother on that trip, because it ended up that she passed away later that year. And then right when I found out I was pregnant, and that's why my daughter's name is Claire for my grandmother, Clara. And Claire was born in 96. So yeah, that's that story. But so anyways, I get a flat tire. I have the 3 little kids, baby on the hip. I get out, I start walking the wrong way. I'm like, is the gas station this way? So I start walking. No, trying to think, I don't think we had a cell phone then. We didn't have a cell phone. 95, no. I probably was going to call my sister I remember finding a tire place. But anyways, so it was interesting because these people stopped and they're like, they were all dressed in black. And it was funny because like right around that time or right before that time, that movie with Nicolas Cage came out, City of Angels, and all the angels wore black. And so they stop and you're like, yeah, I'm a truck driver. Let me help you out. And because I didn't know how to change a tire, and I had the 3 kids and all that. So he changed my tire. So I went to my sister's, and then I called a tire place and got a new tire, but all this happened. And the moral of the story is listen to your mom. Listen to your mom. She was trying to tell me, like, well, you got lost going to your sister's, it's confusing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, whatever, Mom. Bye. It was funny. But yeah. So anyways, that was my job for 30 years, being a stay-at-home mom. And my ex, I guess I partly want to talk about this because, that was the one thing my ex had to say was like, he switched it up at the end. It's like, she won't get a job. And I'm like, what? I need to find the poem to read to you because I have a poem about it. Let me find it before I go overtime. I need to find the poem I need to read to you. I need to work on my writing, you guys. Pray for me. I found it. Okay, this poem is called Entertaining Angels. And it's from a verse. It's from a Newsboys song also, but it's from a verse in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing, some have unwittingly entertained angels. Hey, this kind of goes with that story about the angels that changed my tire in LA, the city of angels. Yeah, incidentally, Alyssa Vanilla was in LA and trying to camp in Hollywood. It was hilarious. She's always so funny. And I left a comment. She didn't know I was from LA. And I was like, yes, I'm from LA. And so, yeah, I have another funny story about that. But anyways, but let me not get off track and chase rabbits. Let me read you this poem. So when I was getting divorced, when I was separated and getting divorced, that was the only thing my ex had to say, because, he's grasping at straws. What did she do? What did you do? How is it all her fault? Oh, she wouldn't get a job. Well, like for 30 years, you said you have a job. That's what he would say when I would say, I need to get a job. He would say, you have a job. Because I didn't know how much money he was putting away in the 401k. I thought it was just his I didn't know he was putting away money in two places. So I found out later, and thankfully, he wasn't even arguing about giving me that money either. He didn't want to pay me any alimony though. But anyways, whole other story. But anyway, so yeah, he would say, she won't get a job, and he never wanted me to get a job. So he was switching it up. And he also said, why should you he would just work overtime. Why should you get a minimum wage job when I can make $50 an hour and just work overtime? And so he would work overtime. And he would say, you have a job, and, the kids I homeschooled for 9 years. I have 5 kids. I did. He was right. I had a job. And so in this poem I wrote, it's called Entertaining Angels. I was looking for a job and I couldn't find a job. I hadn't been on the workforce for 30 years. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to find a job. I'm wanting to see if anybody's coming in while I'm talking. Hey, BDF. Hello. Hi. That's good. That is good. They have a job too. They have a hard job. This live is about jobs. But I started, so maybe it was just, I pray for God to lead me. It must have been God, because that was part of my job. And I said to my husband, and I always was thinking of, I ended up being a very goody two shoes, and we believed in honoring our parents. That's why we would still go see, we would go see his parents. His parents were sometimes difficult. My parents were sometimes difficult. We'd go see them in Florida. Thankfully they lived in Florida. His lived in Florida. Mine parents lived in Texas for a while, and then California during our marriage. And we would go see them because we believe what the Bible says about honoring your mother and father, even if there are even if there are pain sometimes. So yeah, that's why we would go see them. And so I cooked up this plan, like, hey, why don't you, he hadn't been back to Taiwan since he was 4 years old. But he didn't remember any of the language either. It was a real language barrier. And that's one of the concerns I have with going to another country, with going to Portugal. So pray for me. You ever been to Portugal? Have you been to Europe, BDF? I need tips. I've never been to Europe. So anyways, let me tell you this poem. I just wanted to come back over here because when I'm looking at my book online, I can't see the chat. So this poem is called Entertaining Angels. And it starts out with me saying to my husband, I need a job. And the second part where I say, I need a job, I'm talking to God. So it's called Entertaining Angels. So I said to him, I need a job. You have a job, he said. Wash the sheets and towels, cook, clean, give. Feed the dog and people. Read the word and pray. Write, play your flute, say your poems. Listen, teach, and stay. So I said to him, I need a job. I said to God, you have a job, he said. Wash the sheets and towels, cook, clean, give. Feed the dog and people. Read the word and pray. Write, play your flute, say your poems, listen, teach, and stay. Because I got a job, some of you know already, da-da-da, I got a job doing Airbnb in my house. And sometimes I'd I'd make like $1,000 a month, doing Airbnb in my house. So no, you haven't been to Europe. West Palm Beach. I used to live in Boca Raton. So yeah, I got a job doing Airbnb in my house, and I had a lot of adventures and interesting situations with that. Let me see if I can find another poem about doing Airbnb. So, and what I really feel is that even though I was trying hard, and they would act like I wasn't trying, and they act like I was, lazy or something. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's a good one for this live, because I also drove for Uber and Lyft during that time in 2018. Red runs till she's blue. Can't be true. What to do? I want to run free of you. Drive for Uber, drive for Lyft. Donate blood plasma. I need no one, but I want to be independent. But I want to travel. Buy stuff for my Airbnb home. It was an old house, and stuff needed repair when I sold the house. I had to sell it as is. Buy stuff for my Airbnb home. Tax write-off. Look pretty, walk tall, don't fall, or go bankrupt. Past go slow, pay it off, save it up, work it, girl, will prosper and be free at last. Hallelujah. Yeah, it was just a lot of work. So here's one that's about my about Airbnb. It's called Making Room. Out with the old, in with the new. Goodbye, users and losers and abusers. Hello to the heroes, the airmen, mechanics, nurses, and workers. Thank you for your service. Hello to the medical students from far off lands, the Georgia Tech boys and new lifelong friends. Welcome to Reds. Those were some of the I would have airmen, Air Force people because I was by Air Force Base, Warner Robins Air Force Base. I had an Air Force mechanic who was a longer term guest who would come every week, and travel nurses, sometimes businessmen, sometimes a lot of people on the way to Disney, on the way to Florida, on the way to Orlando. So, hi, Rosework. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Yeah. When in 1979, when my parents decided to move to Boca Raton, they left my older siblings. My sister was 18, and like she could have went with us, but she didn't want to. And she already had a job there and everything. She moved in with my brothers, who were older than her. There were 7 of us. Yeah. So yeah, my mom and dad took me and my youngest brother, who's like I said, is older than me, but he's my youngest brother, and moved us across the country to Boca Raton, Florida, from the Los Angeles area, the Valley. We lived in Sun Valley, that area. It was in Los Angeles County. So yeah, in 1979. My friend Tim, more bang for your bucks. We talked about it, and he's in Southern California, and he moved there when I left there. But of course, I've been back many times because, like I said, all my family was there. I mean, there's less of them now since then my brother Paul passed. He was in Arizona though, but my brother Paul, who ended up moving to Arizona because he worked for Georgia Frontieri, who had a place in Sedona, Arizona. He worked for the owner of the Los Angeles Rams in the 90s. And oh, cool. Yeah, my older siblings graduated in the 70s. Yeah, from the high school in Poly in Sun Valley. And so my brother and I were taken to Boca Raton, Florida against our will. And so it ended up fine for me, though. My brother went back to LA in the 80s after he finished at FAU college. But we both graduated high school from Boca Raton Community High School in Boca Raton, Florida. So did my ex. And I married him in Boca Raton in 1986. My parents had already left Boca Raton and moved to Texas. They said, because it's halfway back to California. My mom really wanted to go back to California. My dad was always like, I felt like my dad was running away, honestly. Not wanting to deal with things because my older siblings were challenging. So my brother Paul passed in 2002, and then my brother Tim passed from heroin addiction in 2005, and then my brother Mark passed in 2006, just 6 months after Tim. So it was very hard on my parents, but they were back to California by that time. I mean, by before they lost them. So that was thankful, because I think that was my mom's aim. She wants to, you took me away from most of my children. And yeah, she let me read a letter she wrote to my dad once. And it was true. She was like, I followed you wherever you wanted to go, and we left our children strewn along the countryside. It's funny, but sad and true, kind of. You know, my brother Chris followed them to Florida, and he had a good job in Florida. My brother Chris always struggled with his employment and stuff. He just made it in passing. He had been premature as a baby and born like in 1955. And he was just like 3 pounds. Like I can't imagine. And so he always struggled in school and stuff. And he worked for he worked for my brother Paul for a while when my brother Paul had his business. But then after that, he had struggles. So he came to Florida and lived with us in Florida. He actually lived with us for a while in Georgia. He came to Georgia for a year when my daughter Claire was born, my fourth. My brother Christopher lived with us. So, but Chris always struggled with finding a good job. Speaking of jobs, hey, this goes again, and I didn't plan on saying it. This goes again. So Chris always struggled with finding a job, and he had a good job doing those screening enclosures in Florida. And he got good at it, and he even made one for us. Our house was on a canal in Florida, and we also had a pool. My parents always, my dad was born in San Francisco, and my grandfather, who I never met because he passed in like the 1950s, 1955, I think, the year Chris was born. He was a tugboat captain in the San Francisco Bay. So my dad was born there. My mom, her dad was in the Army, and she was born in the Philippines on an island. So water. They always like to be by water. So even when they moved to Texas, we were by a lake in Austin, and I went there from talking about work again. I had been going out with Bob, and then they moved to Texas, and I still felt, and I did feel like, because I was a Christian then, I did feel like it was God's will that God wanted, because I struggled with it, and I was just like, and my dad was trying to break us up, kind of. He was manipulative like that. And I went to Texas with them because I was 18, and I worked for 6 months. I got 2 jobs. I worked for 6 months to save up money to go back to Boca Raton. So, because they left in the middle of us, we just started going out. I mean, we broke up a lot. It was rocky from the get-go. It was. But we would broke up a lot, but we had gotten back together. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. But that is awesome. You learned to walk again. That's like Box Van D. Box Van D was in a wheelchair for a while and then learned to walk again. That's awesome. That's a wonderful thing. I just feel like that's a God thing. That's awesome. But I'm sorry you went through that abuse. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yes, thank God. Yeah. 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 So I was so thankful for finding out. And I did find out about Airbnb. I was traveling. Um, I went on 2 cruises because my ex wouldn't take me anywhere. And the divorce was going slowly because I hired a lawyer that was bad. And also I had questions and insecurities, and I had misgivings about whether or not I should get a divorce. And they made me, like, the Baptist church made me the bad guy because I was seeking the divorce. And they're like, they didn't believe in any kind of abuse, since my husband wasn't usually, although it was like right on the line, sort of like with his dad too. He would break things. He would do things that were physically threatening to me, but he wouldn't lay a hand on me. So, like, they don't see that as abuse, especially in the Baptist church. And even in the Baptist church, they don't go by the Bible where it says for sexual immorality, you can divorce. They don't even go by that because they want you to forgive anything. Forgive. Everything's like, you have to forgive. You have to stay married. Like, the marriage is held up beyond anything, you know? Yeah, it is abuse though. Right. Right. And I didn't even realize I recently, and it's painful. It's a hard thing. Like, you don't want to admit it. You want to be positive. You want to be, because oftentimes this is a person you married, right? So there had to be some positive things about them. This is a person you married. This is a person you thought loved you. And it was the same thing with my siblings, and that I have, it's in the past, and I since have been trying to build relationships with my siblings, and had kind of a good relationship with my brother in California and stuff. But realizing recently though that, he used to hit me and my parents did nothing. I'm like, that was abuse. He would physically hit me and my parents would do nothing. And I would be like, why? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do to deserve this? There's no excuse for it. It's, yeah. And you can forgive without staying in the situation. Exactly. Exactly. That's true. Because some people will say they can't, you don't know what they did to me. You can't forgive and all of that. And that's why I always talk about Joyce Meyer, and because her dad sexually abused her. And then later on, when their ministry was doing so well and her parents were getting older and lived a little bit ways away from her, she felt like God told her to take care of them until they died. And she said she thought at that point she had forgiven them, but she really she needed to go up another level. And so she forgave them and she took care of them until they died. And so, you can forgive them and not let them continue to abuse you. Yeah, that's what the Bible says. The Bible does say that. But I don't believe our salvation depends on it. It says it hinders your prayers, and God, won't hear your prayers and all that. But we thankfully are saved by grace. Because how many times, like, I've struggled recently, to be honest, because I just been through a lot, and a lot of my family have treated me badly, and I really, don't, and it's the same thing. You're going, do I deserve this? What? What did I do? And you're thinking like, what did I do to you? You know? Um, yeah, I feel like it does. It releases power. And I feel like that's why Joyce Meyer's ministry is so powerful and so successful, and she's anointed, is because she was obedient to God in that and took care of her parents. And then her dad got saved before he passed away too, became a Christian. Hello, Bait the Hook. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I was talking about jobs, haven't even touched the surface, but I was reading a couple of poems about me doing Airbnb and the things I was able to do. And I looked for a job and couldn't find one. Couldn't find a regular job. So I got an irregular job. So yeah. But the thing is with my ex and my father-in-law is they don't want a life partner, but they did want a servant, and they did want somebody to have children. And they did, I would so love Princess Diana. So I just recently read the book by Prince Harry called Spare. And so there was a lot in there about her, of course. And I feel I feel like, and I feel this from my mother-in-law too. She's still in Boca Raton, but of course she's sided with her son, of course. But I still love her and pray for her. But I feel like we were both used. And they said that about Princess Diana, that she needed to have the heir, and then the spare. I was like, when I saw the title of that book, I was like, oh, that's awful. Like, and then I'm listening to the book. I listened to it on Audible, and that's what his father called him. You gave me an heir and a spare. That's what he said to Diana. And so that's what, how does that make a child feel I wonder how old he was when he heard that. That's just horrible. And I feel like the same, because it was the same way with once my ex's family, when the boys were grown, it's like the dad was done with her. It's like, you had me and my kids, and you raised them, and so they want to be a father, and but they don't want to be a life partner. No, they want a servant is what they want. And so I'm glad I got out of that. But I've said now I think I've said it to my middle daughter also. But because of my ex, I don't have a real relationship with my oldest and my youngest, with two of my daughters. So, and Diana knew and agreed to it. I don't know how much she knew. They used her like a broodmare. I don't know how much of it she knew. I mean, she's a woman. She's a person, Any person desires to be loved and cared for. I don't know how much of it she knew. I don't know. But, at some level, maybe she did. You see red flags and you blow him off, and you want to believe the best, and you want to believe, maybe he loves me, or, but yeah, I kind of feel that with her, that it was just, I didn't know that. I wouldn't presume to know how much of it she knew. But anyways, so, oh, I found these neat journals. So, and speaking of jobs, so I thought of doing this topic because I'm very thankful for the money from my mom and dad, and it's why I was able to get this apartment. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get this apartment because, I don't have an income that matches the cost of this rent. So I'm very thankful for a time to just chill and get settled in Denver and relax and try to work on my YouTube and work on my writing and get it going. But I'm spending the money. And so after I go to Portugal for 4 weeks, when I come back in August, I'm hoping to get a job. First, I'm hoping to get a job lifeguarding at the gym where I swim, at the rec center where I. Yeah, she was young and idealistic, and to make a deal, hoping it would be different. Yeah. Spam call. I was looking at journals. I was at Should I tell you where I was yesterday? I don't want to be controversial, but I was at Target. Yeah. And I purposely went to Target. And I was still going to Target. And it's funny that the roommate back in St. Louis, who ended up being really a pain in the rear, he didn't know how to flush the toilet. Even after going number 2. Yeah, that bad. But he got onto me because I was kind of a new liberal. I was conservative before, being in the Baptist church. So I was kind of a new liberal, and he got onto me for buying Chick-fil-A and went on with his speech about how I shouldn't buy Chick-fil-A. And I was just like, okay, whatever, dude. And so yeah, it's the same thing now. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not. I'm still gonna buy Target. If I drank beer, I'd probably still get Bud Light. Whatever. I don't really want to be political on here, but I'm just saying, yeah, I still go to Chick-fil-A. I'll still go to Hobby Lobby. I'll still go to Hobby Lobby. I'll still go. That we boycotted Disney. I boycotted Disney, and we were in South Florida. So my ex and I went on our first date to Disney. I asked him to go my brother was going to Disney. My brother was going to Disney. And so I asked, I got a text from my son. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm gonna grill for my son today, and I grilled for my son yesterday. My son's friend came by and got the flag cake I made Monday night on my live. If you want to see how to make a flag cake with white cake mix, cream cheese frosting, and strawberries and blueberries, go watch my live Monday night. So I made that. Someone at Roy and Becky's said they were cooking for Memorial Day. And I said, what are you making? And she said, one of the things she said was flag cake. And I was like, I used to make that all the time. I'm like, I want to make a flag cake, but I don't want to eat it. So I texted my son's friend who took my red velvet cupcakes to work. And I was like, hey, come get this cake. And I sent him a picture of it. And so he came and got it, and I made him some burgers. But my own son, my biological son, he's my other son, hasn't been by lately. And so he's going to come today. Yeah, so hey, sunny day. Any man that can't fly. Exactly. That happened afterwards, though. But I mean, he was already like just as oh, it was such a challenge, and that's why, like, when I got here and found my apartment, I was living with my son and my son's friend, more into Denver. I'm on the outskirts now, but yeah, when I got my apartment here, which was and will be a year in August, I was like, I am so happy to live alone. Oh my goodness, so happy to live alone. Yeah, and so my son just, are you still grilling today? I'm live for lunch right now. Just go for an hour. And I'm over an hour. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about work because I'm trying to get my YouTube monetized, y'all. Hint, 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 hint. So if you're interested in watching any of my 1,000 videos, my longer videos, please watch them, please, because I need watch hours. I don't want you to run my playlist and, go to bed and not watch it. That's not watch hours. Yeah. That first year was rough. Exactly. So when I was in Georgia, I really had a hard time with it. And then really doing the Airbnb helped with my loneliness a lot. So it did until it didn't, until I got some annoying people like that roommate in St. Louis, which I did. I got some annoying people. One was a green card guy. I tell that story if you see some of my other videos. My live and one of my playlists, it's not on my channel. I mean, it's on my channel, but is my interview on Box ND's channel. And I talk all about that. Maybe I'll put the link to that below because she did make it unlisted, but I still had a link to it unless she would take it down completely. I don't know. But yeah, I had this green card guy that I didn't realize it at first, but he was just whining and dining and being so sweet to me. And he was a medical student. He was tall, dark, and handsome. And but he just wanted a green card. And so yeah, but I'm finally enjoying living alone. Yeah, 2016 is when I moved out, so I was abruptly put into the empty nest syndrome, and my youngest was only 15 then. She was only 15, but she stayed at her dad's house because it was in her school district where she was going to, it was closer to her high school where she was going to school. And it was a bigger, nicer house. So I just don't think she wanted to move. It wasn't so much at first that she didn't want to live with me. I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know. But in hindsight, you see things differently too. I kind of feel like I kind of deserted her there, but I was still involved in her life a lot. I tried to take her she was trying to do basketball and her dad wouldn't take her. So I'd get up early in the morning because the basketball they were practicing before school, like at a crazy hour of the morning, like 5:30. So I'd get up at like 3:30 a.m., drive to my ex's house, to her house, pick her up, take her to school. This was like an hour long drive almost, and take her to, actually it was the grocery store, because actually her school was pretty far from her house in the same school district, because that's just the way the county is. A little tiny county, poor county in Georgia called Peach County. They only have one high school, and we lived on one side of the county, and the high school wasn't in the middle of the county. So she had a long drive. So I took her from my house, which was in a totally different county. I'd go at 3 a.m., try to take her. This is before she learned to drive. But then I mostly taught her to drive. I think her dad gave her one lesson. She says her dad taught her how to drive with that one lesson, I guess. I took her for her driver's test. He got his mom to sell her car, gives her his mom's old car, and then she doesn't need me anymore. I was just abruptly put into the empty nest syndrome in 2016 when I moved out of my ex's house. And then 2017, at the end of the year, I started doing Airbnb, and I did it for 2 years. And then 2019, the smaller house that I was living in was paid off again. We had paid it off before and refinanced it, but it was paid off again. And then I got it in the divorce, which was finally 2018. And that was the same time the green card guy, it was just like the timing of it. It's like insane. I really think that my ex is my father-in-law, because he's the man. It really sounds like some scheme my father-in-law would come up with. I really think maybe I shouldn't say this. I've said it before already anyways. So I really think that my ex found them the green card guy to try and kill two birds with one stone. Hey, dude, you can get a green card, marry my ex-wife, and then I won't have to pay child support. I won't have to pay spousal support. Yeah. But anyways, can't prove it. Doesn't matter now. Whatever. But I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a thing, actually. It's a thing. Because I went to get my nails done, and I was talking about it, and I was just like, gosh, you know what? When I realized that it was all fake, because he was such a good actor, the green card guy was such a good actor. When I realized it was all fake, and I was like, wow, that's bizarre that it happened that month of our divorce mediation and all the timing of it and everything. And I was just like, because I wasn't yet divorced yet. That was a joke on him, because like I couldn't marry him. I wasn't divorced yet. And then, but he waited. He said, I think he was still in the States, but he said he went back to Saudi Arabia. But I don't think he did. He's a liar. He's a liar. Another liar. He was still in the States, because it was like an ordeal, because there's a travel ban. there was a travel ban. He was only able to come to the States because he was grandfathered and he had already had his visa. He already had his visa when the travel ban was on Syria. So he was able to come here, and his visa was expiring in June of 2019, I believe. Yeah, because this was 2018. And so it was insane. So I go to my nail lady, and she's I think she was Filipino, and I was like, I really think that nothing nicer than a demon with no home. I'm gonna have a fit. Tim's here. Tim, you're late. Where have you been? Where have you been, Tim? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I'm almost done. Yeah, most of the nail people are Vietnamese. She might have been Vietnamese, but I think she was Filipino. So the nail person, I'm talking to the nail person, and when Red's always a blabbermouth. You know that. That's why I'm good at doing these lives, you guys. This is my job. This is my job. I'm having fun with it. I said to my son's friend yesterday, I was like, gosh, I hope to get monetized, and you don't make that much money at first though. But I went to the wrong one. Just got back from DoorDash. That's another possibility I'm thinking I might be doing when I come back from Portugal, because I'm talking about jobs, and I'm talking about like if this YouTube thing doesn't take off for me, y'all, I'm gonna have to get more than one job. So that's what I'm here to say. But right now, this is my job, and I always work hard at my jobs. Whatever I do, I'm a stay-at-home mom, no pay. I work hard. She works hard for the money. That's right. And that alimony, he doesn't need to take that away from me, because I worked hard for 30 years raising his kids. I worked hard, and I was a good wife and a good mom, and I deserve that. That's my pay. That's the way I see it. So, anyways, I'm like kind of on a soapbox right now, right? So anyways, so I'm at the nail person, and I'm thinking out loud, and I'm saying all my story, and I'm like, so I found out he was fake, and I'm like, I think that my ex probably found him, because that would kill two birds with one stone. That would help both of them out. The Mohammed would get his green card, and my ex would get, stop the alimony. And he stayed in contact with me. Like, he said he was back in Saudi Arabia, and no, you weren't, you liar. He said he was back in, because he said like all this stuff, because Muslim man going through security at the airport. What do you think they put this guy through? Hello. Yeah. And with a visa, he's originally from a country that is under the travel ban. He wasn't he's telling me things about Saudi Arabia. It's interesting. You're not allowed to be a citizen of Saudi Arabia unless you're born there. So he's not a citizen. I think you're born. You have to be born there. So strict. So anyways, but he escaped the war. This family escaped the war from Syria and lived in Saudi Arabia. I don't know for how long. But anyways, probably hates that, so he's watching. Hi, Mohammed. Love you. Mwah. I'm done being scared, okay? No. I get a little scared sometimes. That's why I stopped doing Airbnb, incidentally, because I did a blog post about the green card guy. He got my blog taken down for a time, but then thankfully they put it back up. I did a blog post. He called me. I shared a picture. I shared his Twitter link, I think. Oh gosh, I got him so mad. And then he called me, freaked out. He was in Texas. I'm pretty sure he was in Texas. Um, uh, the phone, you know how the phone says where they're calling from. So it was a call from Texas. And yeah, he was mad. He's like, if I wanted a green card, you said you asked me to marry you. You know, I was like, he doesn't know what I'm thinking in my head. I was married still. He left September 1st, and my divorce hadn't gone through until like my son's birthday, like the 14th of September. So that's why. And he was saying he was coming back, you know, and he put all these things in my head, like, oh, I want to marry my wife on her birthday. Then I don't only have to get her one present. I mean, what a jerk. That's a red flag right there. Oh, that's awesome. Sunny Day, what's your job? What's your job? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but see, I talked about that. I talked about going there, but he wanted to come here. So, and I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened to him. I wonder. I hope he didn't like, because he didn't like me saying that, because the reason I said it is, oh, the post office, they're hiring here. I've thought about that. Should Red deliver mail? They're hiring at the post office where my P.O. box is. I go in there every day and they still have the sign up there, you know, and I said it to my son, because like talking about jobs, my son is looking for a new job, and my son-in-law was looking for a new job. I think he got one. So that's good, because they have another baby on the way in September. So like right before I left Philly, I got a new job. So, and he was in the Army, so that's a good thing on the applications. So USPS. I'm gonna mention that to my son again, but I don't know if he's interested in it. Always hiring, great benefits. Mm-hmm. They will work you to death. Yeah, my son-in-law was working for Amazon. Oh my goodness. What part of the country are you in? You worked for UPS for 12 years as a permanent mailman. So you're saying no? Kind of being hypocritical here. So you would think, Red should see. I like doing DoorDash, because the thing is, like, it's like when I come back from, it's going to be August when I come back from Portugal, because I'm going for 4 weeks in July. I'm going for the month of July. It's going to be August when I come back, and then my daughter's having her baby in September, and it's just like, ugh, I get a job in August, and then how am I going to be able to take off to go see when my grandbaby's born in September? Well, I might not go right when she's born. I'm not sure. I'd like to. I want to. My mom was always there when each of my 5 kids were born, except for my youngest, because she was in bad health. DoorDash is good for cash flow. Yeah. For a short amount of time, I like when Muhammad was at my house, I was, because I had all these credit card bills, and I knew I was going to get them in the divorce, because we had all these credit cards with balances on them. And I set up from my husband's account to pay on these credit cards. And then I still had the credit cards, because we were still, so I'm using the credit cards and he was paying on them. We weren't divorced yet. And then I'm like, well, it's only going to be fair. I'm going to get these credit cards with these balances on them in the divorce. And I knew that. So that's why I was like, I gotta get, more cash flowing here. So I was doing, for for a while I did. It's too hard to do both at the same time. I was doing Uber and Lyft at the same time. And I had a car payment then. It was great when I sold my house because I paid everything off and I got out of debt. I paid everything off and paid cash for my RV. So it was so awesome. I'm so thankful I was able to do that. In the middle of the pandemic, I downsized. When the pandemic hit, I was like, oh no. I started to spiral into depression again. I'm like, I can't do this right now. I can't sell the house and drive around in an RV in the middle of the pandemic. Well, I did it. When I got to LA, they were closed down. And my sister-in-law was ill and dying of breast cancer. It had metastasized to her bones. So, yeah, that's what I like about the DoorDash. You can DoorDash anywhere. Oh, really? And it's it's the post office. Where are you at? If you don't mind me asking, you can just say the state. Yeah. So I was telling the story. I didn't even finish. I'm chasing rabbits. Tim came in. Things are crazy here at Reds. So I was telling the story about getting my nails done and telling her the story about the green card guy and saying, I think my ex found him, because like that would, and as I'm telling her this, right, guess what she says? That happened to my friend. She goes like, and she married him and he took off and she never saw him again. And she lost her, alimony. And I'm like, yeah, see, I would think that'd be a thing. So I was at Target and I found this journal. I like journals and I like writing, and I'm going to show you two of these journals I got. So this is cool because I don't even know who this is. It's Danielle Cook. It's a quote. And so this was kind of about work too. You were created to do good work that empowers and inspires, liberates and transforms, restores and softens. Yes, work can be hard, as it was meant to be. The verb itself calls us into action, rejecting passivity and demanding sustained effort. It provokes, agitates, and disturbs. But this work, the call for justice, is good work. It defends the oppressed and frees the captive. It tears down walls and destroys barriers. It changes things. So when you're feeling weary or hopeless or spent, remind yourself that the darkness is being flooded by marvelous light. Yes, this is work, and it is good. I think that's good. I'm going to look up that person. Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably an activist or something, but like I said earlier, I don't care. Yes, I got this at Target. Don't come at me. Same. Still shop at Target. Still go to Chick-fil-A. Still go to Hobby Lobby. Still go to Disney. Like I said, we didn't go to Disney for a while, and our first date was at Disney. And then we went back in, I think, 2004. And we lived Georgia, middle Georgia is not too far from Disney, but we would go past it. We went past it like 20 times because we go down to Boca Raton to see his folks. So we had all these little kids, and just like we were just very frugal too, but also, I was very conservative. And so we weren't going to Disney for a while. And, but then, I don't do those boycotts. Sorry. It's not doing anything. It's not helping anything, in my opinion. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, no. That's fine, but I'm not. I don't believe that either. If they were supporting pedophiles, I wouldn't shop there, but I don't believe that. But that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I normally wouldn't get political on here, but anyways. I found this too. So this is gonna help, like, cause y'all, I need to write more. And this is for those of you that don't know, that my last name is Story of my life. And this is I had one of these journals, and I think I probably put it with the books, and because I don't think I started in it, but it's a good, like, for writing prompts, and it asks stories about your life. What events happened in history the year you were born? Research the details and write them down. I think the number one song was Paint It Black. I think I read that somewhere. And I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm not going to let me get off of that comment. Yes, let's change the subject because I don't really want to talk about it. Like I said, yeah, I believe that. But but too, also, it's like not my business. I don't have any little kids, and I don't have the right to see. That's why my mom was a Christian and she was a liberal. And so I kind of have her view on it now, is like, I can't, she's like, well, I don't think abortion would be right for you, but for me, you or me, but I can't inflict my morals on other people. Yes. As my friend Paul's Blind Soup for the Soul said, I flew home in my car. 1722 miles. I stopped at a hotel in Indiana. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing you don't drink beer either. No, I don't drink beer. But anyways, never mind. Okay. I'm saying I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. And I was going to read you guys a devotion. Let me see. Was there anything? This is my old book from 2015. I actually gave a copy of this to Muhammad. Funny. That's funny. I gave away a lot of copies of this. If you send me a PayPal of any amount, I'll send you a copy of this. If you can't afford any amount, I'll probably send you a copy of it anyways. I sent a lot of people a copy of it for free. But you can donate to my channel. The link is below. And like I said, I never could find your PayPal for the book. I thought I sent you a copy for free. But I don't know. But it doesn't matter. But if you want to donate to Red's channel now, the link is below, Tim. Yeah, I put my Patreon link below, and I don't have any Patreons yet. I say yet, but I got it a long while ago for my writing, not even from my YouTube, my Patreon. So I've had it a long time with no patrons. What do you call them? Patrons? Yeah. So Red has a Patreon. Wow. Amazing. So anyways, let me see. You want to hear another poem before I go? Oh my goodness, I've almost gone 2 hours. That's insane. And I don't see Lori. I have to get ready for my son coming over to eat. So I do need to go. Let me say. I'm feeling feisty. Let me say my redheaded poem. Blondes have all the fun. They're the lucky ones. Gentlemen prefer them. Seems bad boys prefer me. Perhaps another shade of dye is worth a try, but my cousin says her red hair makes her fly. They look at her, they look at me. If he's male, we'll get it for free. She's got sass, she's got spunk. She knows that God don't make junk. They call me red, a firecracker, they said. I no longer care what they say. What's in my heart can't be taken away. Someday my hair will fade, and I'll let it stay gray, or go white, as redheads do. But the fire in my heart will burn on, and to my king I'll sing this song. His love is deeper than the ocean. He washes away my brokenness. He whispers to my heart, his love for me will never part. Even if I shop at Target. So, I love you all. Give me any prayer requests. This instead of boycotting Target, I will pray for all people involved. How about that? And what did you think of it, Tim? Did you read it? I was so blessed because I saw Lady Debbie S. at Gloria's Life on Wheels, and she said she enjoyed. What did she say? Anyway, she said she liked my book. She said positive things. I don't know exactly what she said. She said it was helpful. I'm like, wow, that's cool. So it was sweet, and I was like, thank you, Lady Debbie S. Thank you for getting my book, Tim. So I'm going to pray and I'm going to go because I got to make dinner for my son. Dear Lord, thank you for this time on YouTube. Lord, I pray you bless us all at our jobs. Thank you for the great job you provided for Rose and for Sunny Day. And thank you for Rose being able to walk again. That's awesome, Lord. And thank you for bringing us out of our abusive situations and into your freedom. Lord, I just pray for all people involved. I'm not for kids being misled or anything like that, Lord, but I just pray that people would love each other, Lord. Help us to love each other, forgive each other, do things that matter, Lord. Just helping people out. I know that there's a lot in here that are like that, always helping others. And I thank you for my friend Tim. He's helped me out and he helps a lot of people out. And I would just pray that you would bless him. And I thank you for all my YouTube friends, Lord. And I pray that you would just guide me, Lord, in finding work or that you'd grow my YouTube enough so I would only need to get the lifeguarding job. And I just know that you'll guide me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for allowing me to go to Portugal and be with me and ease my anxiety about going overseas, Lord. And please be with my daughter who is in Saudi Arabia, Lord. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Maybe. I know. Yeah, and that's why this is why my second book is still not finished. And I started it right after I finished I started it in 2015, 2016, right after I finished this book. I started it. And so it's about finished, but like, when do you know a poetry book is finished? I don't know. I'm always writing more poems. So you're welcome. Yes. Have a blessed day, everybody. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm almost at 2 hours. Thank you. Thank you all so much. God bless you. Red loves you. Don't forget to pray. Pray for me. Red is praying for you. Love y'all. Bye.